I refuse to allow black people in Chicago to be co-opted to protect Venezuelan gang members.
Did you hear about the midnight raid in South Shore in Chicago? Here's what just happened and why this matters to you. Are you ready? Let's go. So last night in Chicago's South Shore, federal agents, ICE, swarmed a residential building. Did y'all hear about this? Okay. Now this was in the dark of early morning that this happened, and the operation actually left these black folks, these residents, traumatized. Because wouldn't you be? Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Democrats are literally the dim tail, and they're always going to make sure that they entrench cartel and Venezuelan gangs and whoever inside of black areas, so that the moment you try to get those people out, they can easily say, oh, can say they're trying to harm black people. They racial profiled the black people. Think about it. Chicago had a choice about where they dropped all of these illegal aliens off once they got transported here from the southern border. They had a choice, and they purposely entrenched them in areas with black people. Do you think that was a mistake? Do you think that was an accident? It's not an accident. They want to be able to say, oh, look what happened. The federal government is targeting and racial profiling black people. No, they're actually profiling Tren de Aragua. And I can give you some quick screenshots of multiple operations that have had to be done in Chicago, even in the last year or so, to arrest like 20, 10. Like, it's been multiple big groups of Tren de Aragua, however you say it, arrested here in Chicago because they are embedded in Chicago. So no, I refuse to play the race game that Democrats always want to play the moment they get literally discovered for doing some nasty mess. It's always, oh, look what happened to black people. No. Look at you all getting discovered for embedding the cartel in Chicago neighborhoods. No. If anybody was improperly accosted during that raid, I have immediate questions. Did you try to impede federal officers? Because you know what I would never do as a law-abiding citizen? I'm not getting in the way of any CPD, any police departments, and I'm especially not intervening and getting in the way of any federal officer. Especially one that is clearly doing an operation that they have warrants to do. The moment you start intervening, they now have a reasonable a real credible reason to detain you, which is what they did. They detained people who more than likely were impeding their operation. They had like 37 targets. Are y'all okay? And I love to see all these black people who didn't make a single video while all the black people on the south side of Chicago had to live next to gang members. International gang members are in these people's apartment building, but now you make a video. Now you make a video about what happens to them. The conditions of a lot of those apartment units looked atrocious as well, but I didn't see any videos. I didn't see any videos from all these creators who are so compassionate. I didn't see any articles from the Block Club about the terrible conditions those people were living in, because a lot of those apartment units literally didn't even have carpet on the floor from the article they posted. Did ICE pull up the carpet? Be so for real.
All right, y'all. At this point, y'all have really pissed me off, especially you so-called influencers who are taking parts of stories coming out of Chicago and using it for fucking clickbait and engagement. Now, I have been urging my people here to pause so that they can process things. Y'all talking about them coming down on that building out south. Whole time, that building used to be predominantly black. That building was predominantly Venezuelans, okay? There are people from that neighborhood that have been complaining about that building for a year, okay? They showed y'all broken windows and shit that were already there. These are the things that y'all have to stop doing. And this is why I keep telling people here in the city, particularly black people, pause so you can process. If y'all start responding to shit out of emotion, then you don't know what the fucking play is, because you haven't had time to actually think. What people are doing are trying to get a rise out of black Chicagoans, okay? That was one incident. Then you had the guy out west that had the accident, and they pulled him out, and one of the agents was choking him, and people were recording it, okay? So again, follow-ups to all of these things, never. Nobody ever comes back with the follow-up. They talking about, oh, they're arresting black people in Chicago. All of the black people that they took from that building on the south side were released. The 37 people that they detained were all Venezuelans who were part of a particular gang. Y'all got to stop doing that shit. Y'all are really making me mad with this, okay? Especially for those people who don't live here, but you want to use these fucking stories as a way to get some engagement. pause, bro. I'd hate to get into it with some of y'all because I've seen some of y'all so-called influencers using this shit as a way for y'all to get attention and likes. Yes, this is a very serious issue, but I also want y'all to understand that there's never been a time that Black Chicagoans have not been under pressure. There's never been a time that we've not been fighting. So what are you talking about? Y'all want us to get so emotional that motherfuckers get on the front lines of something. No. You have to step back and pay attention first and foremost here. We know how to pay attention to things that's going on around us, okay? And y'all want people to get so upset that we go out into the streets and then some shit really happen? Black Chicagoans, fuck all them people that's talking crazy on this internet, especially if they asses ain't from here. Y'all sit the fuck down, pull back, because you have to be able to process what is going on. If you go out there on some emotional shit, that's how things get twisted. That's how shit get fucked up, because you're not thinking logically. I really need y'all to understand that this is not us against migrants. This is not us against anybody that they are here trying to detain. This is about us being a sanctuary city and our mayor and our governor pushing back on to stop posting about what's happening right now and not adding the fact that there was shit that led up to this happening. I ain't excusing nothing that they doing, but what I'm not going to do is put my people in no burning building. We going to hear me out. Be patient. I'm not saying that we won't do anything. I'm not saying that they won't try anything. I am saying you cannot react off of emotion. There has to be patience. There has to be a process. There has to be a preparation. Stop letting these people gas y'all the fuck up. We ain't on that.
So for those who was questioning about who I am and where I'm at, this is Adam Clayton Powell. This is the building that everyone is in an uproar about. So as I said, South Shore, this is your community, your neighborhood, and this building was not majority black when the ICE came the other day. Yes, black people were affected, but this building was overran by illegal Venezuelan gangs. And I just had several conversations with residents who are moving their stuff out of here that confirmed that. So stop letting media put that false narrative in your head that somebody coming for you, because they not. You was born here. You was born on this land. Rise up and stand up on something and stop letting any and everybody tell you something.
You know that South Shore raid that everybody said, oh, black people were detained by ICE? That should be a historic event. That should be one for the history books. And you know why? Because South Shore is predominantly a black neighborhood. 90% plus of the people in that community are black Americans. And when was it ever a time that law enforcement went into a black neighborhood, a black community, and didn't arrest any black people? I'm going to play that back in your head. When was the last time any law enforcement agencies went into a predominantly black community neighborhood and did not arrest any black people? This was that time. All the 37 people that they arrested were not black, not even black immigrants. So that's why this should go down. Instead of them spreading fear, this is like a turn on a new leaf, whatever. I don't know how they say that saying, but yeah. Look, I'm gonna show some pictures with you. Matter of fact, that whole Midway Blitz, I think they called it, that was because of Katie Abram. She was hit by a drunk, undocumented immigrant, and that's why they came up with this operation. And out of those 900 plus people that they arrested, none of them black. None of them black, but y'all up here spreading fear. Check this list out. I'm not going to send you all 900 because I don't even think they have 900, but I'm going to go through a few of them, and I'm not going to even name them. I'm going to show you the faces. Y'all see this? Y'all see this list right here, right? I think they even got some people from Lithuanian. I don't even know how to pronounce that word. But yeah, a lot of these people from Mexico, Honduras, Venezuela. You know what I'm saying? Like all these Latin, South American countries. No, not even Africans is on this list. And they the ones out here trying to spread fear. No, you know what I'm saying? Being detained and being deported is two different things. Yeah. And I'm sending my condolences to the Katie Abram family. Oh, man, it was tragic what happened to your daughter.
Levanta el pie. ¿Cómo te llamabas? Ok, mira derecho. Mira derecho. Ludwig.
Sí, Jean-Pierre Parra Pérez.
Right, racists, we caught ya, and now we're gonna nip this little act in the bud. Let's cut through the manufactured panic and expose the real raid happening here. It's not happening in a Chicago apartment complex. It's happening on your screen, in your mind, and it's an assault on the truth. Racist America just conducted another one of its psychological operations. They took a federal law enforcement action, the removal of government-installed gang elements from a building where they were hiding, and they spun it into a horror movie for Sulan people. They removed a Venezuelan gang. Before the dust even settled, their propaganda machine was in overdrive, screaming that regular everyday citizens were being dragged from their homes. The racist, Zio-influenced media painted a picture of what happened in Germany. And that bullshit isn't the case here. The gangs that infested the true Indigenous Americans' neighborhoods did not materialize out of thin air. And they're not a natural occurrence. They are a planted force, strategically installed in your communities to create chaos, to destabilize the social fabric, and to provide a camouflage for the very systems that profit from the suffering. This raid wasn't an attack on the original people. It was the landlord finally evicting the dangerous tenants they moved in. It was the parasitic class cleaning up the failed mess it made, rushing people in here to exchange slavery for access. Access to resources that are intended for the Sulani people. But racist America cannot have you see that truth. Their entire power structure depends on you being terrified of the wrong enemy. So they run the oldest play in the Satanic Handbook. They take the government's own cleanup operation and sell it to you as a hero story to your own oppression. They want you looking at the police terrified, while the architects of your misery are walking out the back door, laughing. This is the core of their control. Racists don't just inflict the violence. They then narrate the violence to you, directing your fear and rage away from them and onto each other, or onto the very consequences of their own actions. The mainstream media are the arsonists that show up with a camera, filming the firefighters and telling you that black people are the ones that started the blaze. Do not fall for their theater. The raid in Chicago was a glimpse behind the curtain. They got scared that the true Indigenous people can see the strings, so they screamed authoritarian to make you terrified. Keep relaxing. This country is full of shit and nothing is as it seems. Sulans, you are protected, safe, and divine. Don't fall for their bullshit. They can't do anything to you or else they already would have. Enjoy and take advantage of your free will. Fuck them.